Shalom. First off, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Kwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazak Bob with the GMS Nebraska camp. And in this lesson, I want to cover this scripture, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 through 19, where it's going into the 7 things that are an abomination unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And as I'm reading these things, I'm thinking to myself, Esau embodies every single aspect that's being described here. Especially these elites and the things that they push into this world that they rule over today. And I want to go through it. And each thing could be a lesson in and of itself. I just want to go in and probably briefly grab a precept or two on each one. But, Lord willing, I could come back around and go into some of them more deeply. But let's get into it. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. It says, "These 6 things doth the Lord Yahweh hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him." And when you get into that word abomination, it's the Hebrew word tawaiba, where it's a disgusting thing, abomination, abominable. So it's basically, the most detestable thing is something that is morally disgusting, physically disgusting. It's something that the Lord absolutely hates, and most wicked things. So what does it say? It says a proud look is the first one. And Esau definitely embodies this proud spirit that Esau has. The scriptures say in Psalm chapter 10, verse 3, or verse 4, it says, "The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts." And Esau's pride has gotten him to the point to where he has a God complex, that he believes that he can rule over this earth better than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai can. That's how much pride Esau has. Look at the, as I would say, the mascot for America, the national bird, which is the eagle. Why did they set that as the national bird? Because the eagle flies highest out of all other birds. And that's representative of Esau's mindset, that he is above all the other creatures. He's above all people. That's why they push that white supremacy. That's why they put everybody else down. As we read on in this precept, it says what? It says, in verse 5, it says, "His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them." Because Esau doesn't feel like he, what did it say? In verse 6, it says, "He had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity." Esau doesn't think his kingdom can fall. Esau thinks that his power is cemented and that he's going to rule forever. It says that in Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. So that pride, the Lord hates it, because pride will make you start looking at yourself like it make a person look at themselves like they're all that, and not give credit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It makes a person believe that, it's through their strength that they accomplish things. It's through they smarts and they thoughts, and not give that glory unto the Lord. And that's what Esau does to an extreme, to the point to where this new world order he wants to set up is completely adverse to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's ways. And let's go ahead and move on. Back in Proverbs 6 and verse 17. So it says, "A proud look, a lying tongue." And Esau lies and lies and lies. His whole rulership is set up on lies. Look at these Amalekites in our land. Their whole identity is a lie. And it says in Psalm chapter 58, verse 2, it says, "Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." So they pushing this deception and these lies all in the earth. The industries is made up of lies. The medical industry, the science that they push, their eugenics. But even like I mentioned before with these Amalekites, what the scriptures say in Job chapter 9, verse 24, it says, The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? Him covering the faces of the judges being him lying about the true depiction of the Israelites, him lying about what the Most High and the Son looks like, the angels, the children of the Most High, who they truly are, who they go back to. That's a major lie that he set up, and it's only through the Holy Spirit that we have received, through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that we have received the truth of these lies. The truth that evolution is fake. The truth that Jesus Christ is an idol. You know, all these religions that Esau pushes, all these, you know, his medical misinformation that he tries to say everybody else is spreading medical misinformation. All these things that Esau pushes is all based upon lies. You know, but let's go back to Proverbs chapter 6. We're gonna go to finish verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. And that's the thing. Esau sheds a lot of innocent blood. Well, look at what he did when he came over here to the Americas. Shalakia, you know, for the stutter. But when he came over here to the Americas, he shed all type of innocent blood. He look what he's done to the Israelites in general. That's why the scriptures say in Ezekiel 25, when we go down to verse, let's see, we're going to go down to, is this the right precept? It might not be. Slack it 1 second. I think it's 35 I'm looking for. That's right. Ezekiel 35 verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword and the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity hath an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. That's the thing. Esau doesn't hate blood. He lives by his sword. He is a violent man. So we look at what he did to the native tribes when he came over here and robbed them of their land, pushed them out, made them walk for miles and miles and miles in the cold. What he did to the southern kingdom tribes and the transatlantic slave trade, the northern kingdom tribes in Latin America, even today, what he does even to the heathen. When we look at what's going on over there in with the Israelis, you know, and the Palestinians, how he'll bomb a hospital, bomb a school, bomb innocent people, and say that it's in the name of war, when he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's going after innocent people, civilians. Even Esau's greed causes him to shed innocent blood. You know what he did with that jab, all the people that passed away, that years later they what did it say? People say they were suddenly dying. You know, it's a lot of innocent blood that Esau has shed, but especially the nation of Israel, because it says that what in the time that our calamity had an end, they still shed our blood. You know, they further the affliction, and so that's going to come back unto them. Let's go back to Proverbs 6, and we're going to go to verse 18. It says, a heart that deviseth wicked imagination. So basically a person that plots evil. And this whole New World Order plot that Esau is setting up is an evil imagination. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a precept that I'm thinking of. Let me find it real fast. Yep. Psalm chapter 36 and verse 4, which says, he deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. These elites come together and have councils and meetings on how they're going to, what laws they're going to pass, how they're going to control certain things so that their agenda can be met. You know, and eventually what Esau wants to do is that he wants to chip majority of this earth, you know, put a microchip in them and have that serve as the new system of how you buy and sell, how you live in society. If you want to get a job, if you want to go to school, anything, you got to have that chip. And the reason why he wants to put that in everybody is so that he can have total control over them. That's an evil agenda, an evil plot. Esau is trying to enslave all the humanity by his technology. And if you don't want to get it, he wants to bar you out of it. or put you to death. So that's a major example of the evil plots that Esau be devising. Back in Proverbs 6:18, it says, "Feet that be swift and running to mischief." So it's saying that Esau's quick to do evil. Let's get that word swift real fast. Feet that be swift and running to mischief. Swift, just being the Hebrew word mahar, which is just to hasten, to be hurried, be anxious, hasty, precipitate. But that goes back to how they be in their beds thinking about evil. Or let's get this precept real fast. Let me see. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1, which says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand." So he's thinking about it at night. Like, man, what plot, what scheme can I come up with to get more power, or to get more land, to get more resources? What can I come up with? And then he accomplishes it, in the next day. Even when Esau has the choice between good and evil, he chooses evil if it benefits him. Look at the first thing that comes to mind, which I know is kind of a left field example, but it just, there's so many examples to choose from. This is just the first one that comes to mind, is what he's doing with these AI databases. And he needs these databases. He needs this AI infrastructure to power his grid that he's trying to set up. But as he's setting up these databases near people's cities and their homes, he's using up a bunch of water. It says that these AI databases last year used as much water as the entire bottled water industry and more. Think about how much water people could have to drink that needs water, but Esau is using it for these databases. Not only is it using up all that water, but it's driving up people's electricity bill. It's polluting water in people's areas. So this is the type of, and Esau knows this, but he's not going to stop. He's not going to tear down these databases. He's going to keep them up, and he's going to build more. Why? Because it benefits him. That's, as a matter of fact, let's read more in this Micah chapter 2, verse 2, which says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage." If Esau sees something that he wants, he's going to come up with some type of way to get it. If it's not going to be just complete violence straight on, he's going to come up with some type of rule or law that he creates out of thin air that says that that person that's in power is impeding on this. And because they're impeding on this, we have to come in and take this. Like, this is how Esau, he's quick to do mischief. Let's go back to Proverbs 6:19. It says, "A false witness that speaketh lies." And Esau is a false witness. He's a false witness upon the children of Israel. How he comes up with all these skewed statistics on our people, say that we're the most violent people, we're the most, we commit the most crimes, all this. When we look at his judicial system, is not based on true justice. A lot of times people win a case based off of who can get the better lawyer. So, and the scriptures say, the people, roughly paraphrasing, let's just grab it. Because as Esau is a false witness, it breeds people in his kingdom to be false witnesses and not to truly value the truth. In Sirach chapter 10, verse 2, it says, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." But Esau is really that false witness against our people. He paints our people out to be to have low IQs, to be stupid, when we created a bunch of the inventions that Esau has patented and make money off of. It's a Jake that created the GPS. It's as a matter of fact, let's look it up. Let's look up creations. I'm gonna put, you gotta put black people, even though we so-called black. Creations that black people made. Black inventors. The 3-light traffic signal was made by Garrett Morgan, a Jake. Automatic elevator doors, Alexander Miles. The first home security system. And Esau make stupid money off these things. But he makes us out as if we're stupid, as if we're primitive. That's that false witness. It says, this is the last one back in Proverbs 6:19. It says, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And that's the thing. Esau has created discord among the family structure in general with this American way, women's rights, especially with the women. I know it says he that soweth discord among brethren, but just looking at that family structure in general, Esau has made women feel as if they can separate from the house. They don't need to be a part of that family nucleus. Or he's created a system to where a woman has to go out and get a job because one person trying to pay the bills doesn't cut it because of how expensive everything is, and he'll make it to where he'll push it in women's face to go to college, go get your degree, or you don't need a man, that independent woman spirit. Look at what Esau does toward Jake, where he puts it in Jake's mind that all they need to go after is fame, money, and make Jake willing to snake their own people out in order to get themselves an opportunity. Now, don't get me wrong, Jake is wicked too. It's not all on Esau. You got 2/3 out here, but Esau makes this environment that it rewards Jake for certain things. It rewards Jake for being cutthroat toward his own people. So Esau isn't creating a culture that holds people together, that creates peace. He's creating a culture that where he pushes gang violence toward our people and makes our people glorify that. He pushes that on the forefront. He pushes that drug dealers and people who in the streets is cool. That he pushes that in the forefront. And what does that do? That makes Jake look at that and think that that's the way that you make it out of your predicament, or that's what I'm supposed to follow after. And it's that what's the movie called? Who Cloned Tyrone? It's that effect that Esau creates. So that's all I want to get into in this video. Like I said, each and every one of these can be going into in more detail. Lord willing, I can swing around and touch on a couple, how Esau embodies these, but Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch HaKodash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.